All right, guys, we're in the Rivian R1S. We're gonna go ahead and give it a launch real quick so you can see that this thing absolutely smokes. You ready? Wow, that is unbelievable. And that's 80. I mean, you would never in a million years know that you are in a 7 seating, or at least 6 seating, but you could get 7, 6 seating, let's just call it, SUV. Unflippin' believably fast. Really, I mean, grant you, is it as fast as a Model X Plaid? No, but it's right there with it, guys. This thing punches way above its weight class in so many ways when it comes to performance. Welcome back to Driven Productions. My name's Adam, honored to have you here. Guys, I'm really excited to talk about the new R1S here from Rivian. Now, we reviewed the R1T, I'll go ahead and put a link to it. Now, I've owned a Tesla Model X P100D since 2019. So I'm gonna give you the perspective of this vehicle and everything that I think makes it a superior, quote unquote, product to Tesla. Now, there's some things I still like that Tesla does better, but most of the things about this vehicle, like the interior, like the fact that the trunk is actually automatic, that's a really cool feature. Like the fact that the interior quality of this vehicle is just punched up a bit better than Tesla. Now, this right here is Glacier white paint. This is a $1,700 upgrade. Now, I'm also going to be telling you that this right here is a top spec car. This is the quad motor. What that means is it has 835 horsepower, 835 horsepower and 900 foot-pounds of torque. Guys, this thing runs to 60 in 3 seconds. Now, I know all you Tesla fanboys are like, well, hoorah, the Model X goes to 60 in 2.9, at least mine does. And go. Oh my God, this car just absolutely always shocks me with how fast it is. Unbelievable. And there you go. So I understand that that is not necessarily the selling factor. However, this has a 3rd row seat. It's a larger vehicle. So you get a little bit more practicality than you're gonna get with the Model X. Now, looks-wise, I don't know if I like this better or I like the Model X better. I was just talking with Aaron, the owner, and I'm thinking in some ways I like the Model X better. It's just more sleek and sexy. This, on the other hand, though, is really handsome. Now, I know some people think these front headlights and the overall front does kind of look like a cartoon character. I've read about that. In some ways, I could easily see that, but there are some really nice lines on this car. I've been a fan of how the yellow contrasts with this, the brakes, and this little here with the logo, and also here on the side. It just looks nice, you know, and also notice you've got this kind of blacked out top. So the owner is actually going to be taking this silver trim here and blacking that out. While it's not chrome, it's kind of a satin finish, so he's going to make all of that blacked out, and I do think that's going to enhance the overall look of this car even more. So this is my introduction. We're going to get into some of the interior things next, because I think the interior, if you're looking to buy one of these and you're comparing it to even the new Plaids, the interior of this thing is still great. Now, it's not perfect. You don't have Android Auto, you don't have Apple CarPlay, you're never gonna have full self-driving, you're not gonna be able to go into the Tesla app, but let's be honest, is Tesla actually gonna figure that out? They've been saying they're gonna have it since 2019. We're in 2023, and to be honest with you, my P100D from 2016, which doesn't even have full self-driving, has Autopilot 1.0, works better than my Model S with FSD. Something about phantom braking, I don't know what it is, but that car on full self-driving oftentimes causes more issues than my 1.0 autopilot computer does. Okay, one of the things I wanted to cover is price, because let's be honest, if you're watching this video, you're debating between this, the Audi, the Range Rover, right, the new hybrid they've got, which is a little bit more money. Then you're also debating between the Model Y, you're debating between, you know, maybe the Ford, the Mach-E, right? There's a lot of competitors, maybe the Kia EV6. By the way, if you look at my EV playlist, we've done most of these vehicles, so check them out. If you like this review, you might like the others. However, this particular one comes in at $79,100, but if you go on their website today, it's $98,000 and change. So they have raised the price $20,000. So while this particular one, which Aaron, the owner, and I'm gonna bring him on, I wanna bring him on because I want him to share his buying experience. Guys, I want to introduce you to Aaron, the new owner. Congratulations, man. So unfortunately, my videographer had to take off today, did all the montage stuff, but we have to shoot this POV. So tell me, and I was kind of with you throughout this whole journey, what was the process like getting this vehicle?
It started off seeming like it was going to be a pretty simple process. Online portal had insurance, financing, everything in there. Fill it all out, get my own insurance, upload that. It says you've completed, scheduled delivery, everything's good to go.
Okay.
So
far, so good.
I get an email from a text message from the Rivian guide saying, hey, just want to make sure that you get all your documentation filled out before you take delivery of the vehicle on Monday.
Right.
I go back to the portal, everything's filled out. They sent another email of more documentation on the financing that I needed to sign on top of all of the financing documentation I had already filled out. Woke up Monday to an email that said delivery canceled. Called them, figured it out, got more paperwork, more documentation signed, scheduled delivery for the next day, get there the next day, and they say, oh, we need both of you here. Well, that was news to me. And they would not deliver the vehicle to me. Then finally the following day, got her to be able to drive up last second and spend 5 hours in a car to be able to just be there to show her ID. That was it.
Wow. So you're talking about
Registration
Monday,
document.
Tuesday, and then Wednesday. So 3 different delivery things that were basically, so 2 days were just canceled on you. Made you go through all this online paperwork and all this BS that was just confusing. And then you weren't able to take delivery at the dealership, were you? Or the service center?
No, they
that's
don't
the other
have a
weird
dealer
part.
license here in Tennessee. So they had me meet them at a park about a half-mile away, which was very interesting.
Hey guys, think about that. Rivian doesn't have a dealer license in Tennessee. It's weird. They've applied for it. They've told us they're working on it. So he has to go to a park, which is like 2 miles away, mind you, right? To take delivery of this vehicle. I just think that's really fun.
And then drive the guy who delivered it back to Rivian.
No kidding.
Yep.
All right, guys. So obviously the elephant in the room. If you're watching this, you're looking to buy one. Is of course the range. So this right here is there's 3 little kind of like hamburger menu on a website, right? 3 little strips right here. And that's how you open the charging port. If you go ahead and pull this down, that's where you're gonna do your DC fast charging. I know that a lot of the Electrify Americas of the world don't quite charge as well. They also have a lot of issues with the station. Well, here's another issue. So the first one wasn't working at all, and then this one, the tab's broken. Are you serious? Wow. So we've got, that's 2 for 2, that ain't working. Now you've seen the recent news that Ford and GM are going more towards the Tesla standard. I wouldn't be surprised if Rivian does it as well, so you can use their charging network, which is unfortunate for me as a Tesla owner, frankly, because there's just not enough stations in base right now, but they're gonna be building a lot more with all that government money. However, this right here has a 135 kilowatt battery pack, and they say it gets about a 315 mile range. I'll be honest, Tesla was rated for 300 and 100 miles roughly, and I was lucky to get 250 out of a full charge. People have told me that these are a bit more accurate, so you could probably get 270, 280 on a full charge. That's running the AC and just taking it easy. If you're gonna be, smashing the electric gas pedal though, you're gonna be, smashing the electric pedal, you're gonna be eating some juice just like you would a gas motor. So keep in mind, you could very well get this thing to probably only be 150 mile range if you're just gonna be, launching it everywhere. But overall, I think it's a lot of value and a lot of range. I mean, think about it. It's a ton of battery packs, which makes this thing weigh 7,000 pounds, which is good for, riding it off to your business because it qualifies for the gross vehicle weight. But in the end of the day, it's a heavy vehicle. It drives like a heavy vehicle, right? But you do have a decent range. I think for the daily drivers of the world, 300 miles, 280, somewhere in there is perfect. But when you do take road trips, you are gonna have to factor in those charging stops. All right, people always ask me, what's it like to take Teslas on road trips? Well, it all depends on how you value your time at the end of the day, but we've come today, we're heading back from Rosa Beach, 30A, right? So we've gone all the way to here, which is Greenville, Alabama, which was our first charger. So we're charging now. We've been here. We've put 46 kilowatts into the battery. We are going to add 2 hours to our total trip here. Just for a second, because I wanted to cover one thing that drove me crazy the last time I was at Rivian, and that was this right here. These panels never lined up. So go ahead and look at an R1S in your area and tell me that these don't line up, because it's very common. However, they've seemingly fixed it. And you can also see there's a little bit of a bump out here, but overall, the build quality of these has come a long way. I thought the R1T was really good, but you can see here the panel gaps. And by the way, I do apologize about the mudding. We actually took this car mudding this morning. We didn't realize we did, but apparently we did just getting on this road. But the panel gaps, guys, they look pretty darn good. One of the top selling features of this vehicle, it has the double, so you can just keep this open and then you can keep this closed. This is kind of like the Range Rover, but this has a third row seat, which is fantastic. So you can lay it down like this and have a nice open trunk. You can also lay those seats down and have even more space. So this is one of the most practical vehicles. And unlike the Tesla, really, this gives you a 120 outlet and a 12 volt back here. Again, it'd be so nice if Tesla offered this. You know, we were driving to Johnson City the other day for a video shoot, Brian and I, and he had his laptop and there was no way to charge it. And I'm like, if we had the Rivian, we could have just run a little extension cord to the front seat and you could have worked the whole way. That would have been nice. So this is a really cool feature, and laying the seats down, guys, is super easy. You just hit that button and you can see they're spring loaded forward. I mean, it's literally that easy. So this is one of the most practical vehicles you can buy. You've also got some additional space down here, and you've also got some tie-down racks that are fully adjustable here. So again, very, very, very practical car. You know, you could really take this and have a nice trip, camping, whatever you need. You also have additional storage down here, first aid kit, and you even have more room down there. So if you can't, I mean, like guys, you want to talk about the ultimate Costco vehicle, you're looking at it. Because not only do you have all of the space in the back here, but then you also have that electric front trunk, which works really well. So again, I mean, practicality wise, this is checking every box you got. This thing flat, there you go. Then you can just have one flat surface that's carpeted, easy to slide things in and out. Here's another fun feature that I do want to mention while we got the trunk open. You see this right here, guys? This is a PSI machine built into the Rivian. So this actually comes with it. So if, let's say you're going for mountain biking, right? And you need to adjust your tire pressures. Or let's say you want to go off-roading in this car and you want to lower the tire pressures when you're doing some rock crawling or some sand duning, and then you want to, you know, beef them back up for the street. You're already ready to go. I mean, again, I love the adventure nature of the Rivians. I really like that about the R1T. Guys, the #1 selling feature for me is the interior of the Rivian. I remember when we did the R1T, I really thought that interior was incredible, and this one is carried over very, very well. In fact, in a lot of ways, it's even a little bit spicier and a little bit nicer than the R1T, but very, very similar. Now, I also wanted to mention real quick, they give you this amazing carabiner key, which has the ability to lock, unlock, open the front trunk, and open the rear. It's obviously got that adventure design as well with the carabiner, which is just really cool. They also give you a key card, which you can use on certain areas of the vehicle. And then, of course, you also have the phone app. So you have 3 different ways of using and getting, you know, access to turn the vehicle on, entry, and exit. But overall, interior-wise, this is the upgraded interior, Ocean Coast. This also has the gray ash wood. But there's just so many details in this interior that you're gonna love. First of all, I love the floor mats. The twill floor mats are just really cool. I love the built-in here. You've got this kind of mesh material built in here, and it carries through the entire seats as well. And in that wood trim is here with the satin finish here. 2 large screens. It's also nice that they give you a front screen that displays your speed and a number of other things. We're gonna take a POV drive. You'll be able to watch that a little bit. But overall, guys, it's just a really, really classy interior. I love that this whole area is covered in Alcantara suede. I love that you have this incredible panoramic roof. Again, a lot of these things just don't have these features. So overall, this is such a classy interior, and I really think you're gonna love it. So this actually doesn't have the Meridian sound system. The R1T I reviewed did, but they have, Rivian has switched to their own, I guess, proprietary sound system. I'm sure it's fine. You know, it's always hard to demonstrate audio. However, you still get the built-in boombox. So if you didn't know, this actually will Bluetooth sync to your phone, and it also goes in right here in the car. That's a really cool feature. You know, you're at the beach, you're playing some ball or whatever, it'll charge from the car battery, gives you a portable speaker. So overall, guys, I just love, again, it's another fun adventure feature that they've got. As we come to the back, this is another really cool feature. So obviously you have a couple of built-in cup holders and whatnot, but you have a third row seat. All you have to do is push that button right there and this slides forward. Now, I'm 6 feet tall and I'm not exactly the smallest guy on the planet. And I can tell you that if I had to be back here, now it's a little weird, so that's, and then you can adjust it here. So if you're sitting here, you can adjust the height level. So that's fully back, and I have to say, I have about a ½ an inch, maybe even less than a ½ an inch. So if I had to ride back here, I would be just fine. I'm not saying I'm gonna be in comfort, but I think I'll be okay for a short ride. Now my 2 kids, 5 and 7, they would love it back here. They would have no problem. And there's also a couple of cool things back here. If you open up these right here, these little side, you've got a USB-C back here as well. So my kids are always got their iPads, right? They've got their Amazon Fires of the world. They can plug them right in. You also get a cup holder back here and your own dedicated air vent, plus a speaker. And you have another panoramic glass roof back here as well. So very, very cool back here. I think being 6 feet tall, I could be comfortable back here. You know, could I get comfortable here for a 7-hour ride? Probably not, but for a short trip, maybe with some friends to downtown Nashville or something, a nice night out, I think I'd be perfectly fine. Now I will say, getting out, you do have a grab handle right here, and you can kind of slide out. Probably not the most graceful thing ever, but again, it's doable. So that's just a hell of a selling feature. Now, you do have to kind of adjust this. I know you can do it in one, and then the other cool thing here is you can also adjust the backrest. Aaron did it for me a second ago. So you pull this, and you could even recline it past that. So you can see here, you get a couple of good inches. Now, I would just love that. I mean, this allows me now to take a little bit of a nap. Now this does have entry-exit mode, so when you get out, the seat will automatically adjust back, but I've now set it so we just disabled that feature. This is how much space I have. Aaron's about 6'3", so guys, you've got plenty of space back here, and this is where he keeps his seat. You also have a nice screen back here, similar to the Tesla Plaids of the world, right? So you can adjust your seats. This also has heated seats as well. Doesn't have cooled seats back here, but again, it's nice that you have heated rear seats, the ability to adjust it. Now, I don't believe you can run any video through this. You can't run any video games. Like Tesla has the ability to do, you know, Disney Plus and Hulu and Netflix and all of that, you know, back here on that screen. So that is a nice feature that they have that the Rivian doesn't have. I was also surprised when I reviewed the Audi e-tron recently. They didn't have the ability to do the any of their 3 screens had the ability to do any video. So, and you even have a flashlight that's built in. Now that, again, is part of the adventure package. You don't get any massage seats. So the e-tron we just reviewed had the massaging seats. That's one feature you don't get, but you do get heated and cooled seats. And overall, it's just a cool place to spend time. That's one of the #1 reasons that makes me want to trade in my Model X, frankly. Just the interior is awesome. And if you didn't know and you don't have the key on you, if you want to open up the front trunk, the button is right here, a little bit left of the centered logo. I mean, guys, look at the amount of space you get. It's incredible. I mean, not only do you get a 3rd row seat you can fold down, the 2nd row seat you can fold down, but then you also have the front trunk as well, which you could even lift this up and it gives you even more space down here, which, by the way, that's the portable charging cable. You know, guys, one other thing I wanted to cover while we're talking about the interior is if you have children, you can hang the iPad right here, and they give you a USB-C built right into the seat and 2 USB-Cs down here. And the other thing this vehicle has is a hotspot. So if you want to use it, it's 2 years. They give you 2 years of free internet hotspot, so you can connect all the devices through the vehicle instead of having to drain your cell phone battery. So again, nice little feature there. Guys, if you're wondering if you have front cup holders, because I showed you the ones in the back, you do. They're right here built in. And you have no glove box, which is interesting. And if you want additional storage here, You have quite a bit. This is very, very deep. You can definitely get quite a bit in here. You also have some additional USB-Cs. Now, Aaron's actually going to talk you through this right here. So explain what this is.
This is a 1 terabyte SSD for the gear guard system, which has a drive cam, records incidents when you're away from the car, and has a motion cam, and then you can star them and save them.
And guys, if you didn't know, this is actually a wireless charging pad. The unfortunate truth is, though, it just doesn't hold your phone that much. It just isn't that grippy. And I've also been told by Aaron it doesn't charge your phone that well either. I've heard Rivian is going to be actually replacing this whole piece here, so hopefully they'll punch it up. And the other thing, if you didn't know, with the system here, you can't actually adjust the vents manually. You have to do that through the screen. And I'll show you just a little bit on the screen here. You can see it's pretty easy to do. Again, it would be nice though if you could just do this. I mean, you know, sometimes if it ain't broken, don't fix it. You do also have pet mode in here. You have camp mode. They've added that. You also have snow mode. They've been doing some over the software updates. You have the ability to change your heated steering wheel, heated and cooled seats. You can see here your different drive modes are here. You've got sport, conserve, snow, off-road, and towing. The towing capacity of this vehicle is actually not bad. Do you know what it is off the top of your head? I think it's like 6,000 pounds, 7,000 pounds. I'll find out and I'll put it off, across the screen here. It does have air suspension. You can get as low as 8 inches and as high as 15 inches of ground clearance. Overall though, I like the system. I always did. I like it much better than the Range Rover. I like it better than the Kia EV6. Although the Kia does give you a lot of physical buttons, which is nice. Really, the Rivian only gives you this button here, your turn stalks, and that's it. Everything else is built through the screens. Pros and cons there, I think you'll get used to it over time. Again, you have the ability here to do Spotify. You have the ability to do a couple of other music features like tune in here. I believe this is Tidal. Yeah, so you have a couple. Of course, your phone is just connected to your Bluetooth. That's how most people are going to use their music. But you get no Apple CarPlay, similar to Tesla, which is kind of weird. Do love the map though. The map is fantastic in this vehicle. It's very, very responsive. It's 3D. It's one of the better maps in the system. You can communicate with Alexa built in, I believe, so you can talk about navigation. Overall, I think this is not it's a nice selling feature. It's a nice large screen. Looks really good. Plenty of screen real estate. You've got all these other things here. You can see energy. So right now, we've got 34% left. It's saying we have 100 miles. It also tells you your charging amps, if you're using any of your outlets. Yeah, very cool vehicle, guys. So here's some of the range estimates here. So you can see here, sport mode, you get 285 with a full charge. Conserve, you can get 321 with a full charge. So that is what it is. So in sport mode, we're gonna burn the battery down just like you would with a gas engine. If you guys care, these are the Pirelli Scorpion P0. Actually, they're just zero, they're not P0s, they're not performance tires. These are also the upgraded 22-inch sport wheels, right? They have this extra kind of metallic inlay with the black or gray. These are really good looking wheels, I gotta say. I love the fact that they give you the yellow brake calipers. They're just good looking. I mean, this is definitely a nice selling feature of the vehicle for me. Now, they do offer 3 different wheel sizes on the Rivian. Some of them don't cost any money. I believe it's the 21-inch wheels that are included. These are gonna be a little bit of an upgrade though. I believe they're $2,500. Okay, we are in the Rivian R1S. We are driving now in sport mode in the lowest setting. So we are currently on a back road. So, it's a little bumpy, but I think this is a good way of demonstrating this vehicle. Now, I will say, in sport mode, it's not the easiest vehicle to drive smooth. The throttle response is pretty darn jerky. It's very, very sensitive. Like, you can feel, like that right there is about 30%, 40% throttle, and this car moves, guys. I mean, it really has the torque right there on tap anytime you need it. It's just a really surprisingly difficult car to drive smooth in sport mode. Now in conserve mode, it's the complete opposite. And that's similar to Tesla. If you put Tesla in ludicrous mode or plaid mode especially, or you put it in chill mode, it's definitely gonna drive differently and smoother and whatnot. So that's similar to most of these, but just know, this vehicle is really responsive in sport mode. Now steering wise, it does feel pretty lifeless. It's definitely electric steering. It's not going to be a Lotus of the world, but in the end of the day, it's pretty darn nice. I mean, I like the weighting to it. It's got just the right amount of weight. It's not too heavy, not too light, but the performance of this thing is absolutely unbelievable. Now, one of the things you can probably see on the screen here, guys, is this has the 360-degree camera currently activated. That's another feature that Tesla just doesn't have. You know, even after all these years of Tesla making vehicles, for some reason, they just don't think that people need help parking. I can tell you a 360 camera on a vehicle this large sure does help from time to time. There's no doubt about it. All right, now here's one really important thing that I want to cover, and that is autopilot. So autopilot is not available on this particular road. Now, I thought the R1T to do it. To do autopilot, you just have to hit that twice. It's actually not even able to turn on this road. It's just basically in Distronic cruise right now, so I'm still having to drive. I will tell you, every time you get over to the lane, you're going to feel a little bit of vibration in the wheel. That's the technology package. So if your number one priority is the ability to do level 2 self-driving, which the Kia EV6 does pretty well, the Audi e-tron does pretty well, the Kia does pretty well, even the Range Rover now does it. I mean, they all have got it. This is one area that Rivian, I think, does need to up their game. I understand that most people are going to be using autopilot only on the highway of the world. You know, that's your interstate systems, and that's where, frankly, I use most of it myself. But on a road like this with defined lines, it should have no problem navigating it. Now, I understand when you're on a road that's really, you know, got a lot of turns and whatnot, that could be an issue, and even the Tesla will fail. But this is just one of those things that I feel like they should be able to give you this, you know, in 2023, especially when the other manufacturers who are not really known for having, you know, latest technological advancements already has. I mean, Cadillac could navigate this road, right? So I'm a little surprised at that. So I want to make sure I covered that part on camera. You know, the noise factor of this car is very low. You can hear the audible of the motor just a little bit. You guys hear that? It's kind of a whining sound. I really like the sound effects of this car. It just sounds like it's supposed to sound. It's not artificial. You know, we're coming out on the highway here, so I just want to give it a little bit of juice. I mean, guys, that's already 70 miles an hour. I mean, the performance of this vehicle is absolutely unbelievable. And you can hear there's quite a bit of wind noise when you're up to speed. So this is similar to most of your SUVs of the world. So let's go ahead and merge onto the highway here. And I'm going to go ahead and put it on autopilot now. We should have no problem autopiloting on this road. All right, there you go. So now we're going to go ahead and see what happens at 77 miles an hour. We'll see how this thing does. So it's coming up. It wants me to jerk the wheel, as you can see. Actually, it's not even asking me to jerk the wheel, so let's see what it does. I'm curious what the intervals of it, because you know, if you keep your hands on the wheel, it'll go ahead and turn that feature off. But if you don't, well, so far it hasn't popped up once. That's pretty good. All right, so far so good. It's navigating the road fine. I mean, this is a Interstate 840. Oh, okay. See, that says keep your hands on the wheel. So I'm not going to do that. Well, I guess it went away. Did I even touch the wheel? No. So that's interesting. Well, I mean, this is a nice system. I mean, it's not as intrusive as Tesla is. I'll tell you that right now. I mean, hell, I really haven't had to do anything for the past 2-3 minutes. All right, there it goes. Keep your hands on the wheel. So I'm going to see what happens. So it beeps at me. Beeps out to me again. Okay. And then eventually it will disable. So it knows that. Let's see if it'll do lane change. It will not. So again, this is probably level 1 autonomy. It's not even level 2. So Aaron was just telling me that right here, and I don't know if you can see my hand or not, but right here is a built-in eye tracking capability where essentially it will go ahead and, yeah, it's apparently still driving. There it goes. So it'll allow you to track your eye movements. So as long as you're looking ahead, you shouldn't have to jerk the wheel as much. That's a nice feature. I know Tesla has that now as well. But again, they haven't enabled that feature. So what that tells you is they've got to have more over-the-air updates to enable some of these awesome features, like the fact that you could change lanes in autopilot. I'm really surprised they don't have that. I mean, they obviously have all the camera technology built in. You have 360 camera, it's working great on the screen there. But for some reason, you just don't have the ability to do it right now. Yeah, guys, overall, the highway driving experience on Cruise is great. Car's having no issues. It's sensing that box truck. It's sensing the car. The quiet factor is so nice. It's one of the things I love about EVs. Some of these guys I see in my comments, nope, can't get over the fact that they don't make any noise. It's like, yes, in the end of the day, I understand that's going to take a little adjustment, but you're going to appreciate the fact that it's quiet. And the only thing you really hear on the highway is the wind noise hitting the front windshield. So if you've got adults back here and you're going out for dinner, you could easily have a nice chat. It's just a nice place to spend time. The interior of this car is really, really great. Just like the way it feels and drives. The seat's really comfortable. There's just no negatives really to the driving experience. All right, guys, so we need a little bit of a charge. We've got about 84 miles of range left. So Aaron here, show us how easy it is to find a charging network with the Rivian. So we're going to select DC fast, which means over 100 kilowatts an hour. We're going to then search for charging. So it looks like there's one here at ChargePoint. There's one at Electrify. So you can see, guys, there's quite a bit of charging, access points in just this little area here in Brentwood. So they've definitely come a long way than even 6 months ago. So which one do you want to go to? Electrify America? Okay. All right, so we're going to go ahead and go to Electrify America. It's preparing the battery for fast charging, and we'll demonstrate what that's all about here in a second. Okay, guys, we're at the EV charging stop here, and believe it or not, there's a flippin' Tesla here, which is just tripping me out. Why in the hell is a Tesla at an EV Electrify America station? That is very interesting.
Charger unavailable.
Oh, charger unavailable. Okay, well,
So we have to go to the
welcome to non-Tesla life. Why is GM and Ford going to it? Is because their charging network is unbelievably good. I am still understanding why this Tesla here is there. That is very interesting. All right, so let's try this one here and see if this one works. Well, here's another issue. So the first one wasn't working at all, and then this one, the tab's broken. Are you serious? Mm-hmm. Wow. Anyway, guys, the point of all of this is to show you that there's some early adopting challenges that you're just going to have to deal with when you buy an EV today. I mean, that's why everybody wants the Tesla charging network, because it is so much superior and so dialed in, whereas all of this crap has all the trials and tribulations. Yeah, so it's saying initializing charging. Still, I mean, we've been here, 3 minutes? We still haven't gotten a single ounce of juice. Okay, the maximum power of this charger has been temporarily reduced in order to improve service. Wow. Welcome to the fun world of early adopting life, as she drags the heavy cable across the front of her car for all the clear coat scratch monsters of the world. Poor thing.
And because these two are not working, and that one's not working.
Oh, I know, it's ridiculous. So there's actually 2 hyperchargers here, but only one of the 4 plugs is actually able to charge.
And this is now 1 hour and 16 minutes.
Ah, okay. So here I was just saying that this thing was all great, and now it's actually going to take 1 hour and 16 minutes to charge to full. So there you go, guys. It's just not quite there yet. So for all the gas lovers of the world, this is your opportunity to go into the comments and flame us. All right, guys. We just walked back from lunch. We've been gone about 1 hour, yeah? And we're at 95% here. So there you go. And we got a little Ford Lightning here. I do like that color. Guy's passed out, so we'll see where she's
64 minutes of charge time.
Yeah, so 64 minutes. It was $23.68. So you can see there, $23.68. So there you go, not too bad. The best driving experience you're going to get in this car is going to 100% be in conserve mode, I think. I mean, you just really don't need sport. It's almost overpowered and a little more jerky than you probably want. But let me tell you, even in conserve mode, if you go ahead and give it the beans, like, it's plenty fast, guys. It has got 415 horsepower in conserve mode and 600 plus in like when you're not in full sport mode. So you don't need the 835, right? Which is why I would encourage you, if you're gonna spec your car, to go for the dual motor. You know, not only is it $78,000 currently instead of 90 something, so you're gonna save money there. You're gonna get 370 miles of range versus this, which is 315. And if you are an enthusiast, you can go ahead and get the performance package. I'm sure that's going to be plenty of speed for you. You're still talking about a 0 to 60 in the mid 3-second range. But the quad is fun, don't get me wrong. I mean, if you like the bragging rights, if you want to dust everything on the road. But just keep in mind, when you're in sport mode, it's just difficult to be smooth with it. When you're in conserve mode, only the front motors are being used, so you don't have any of the rear motors. You still get 415 horsepower, though, out of the front motors. You know, again, coming onto the highway now, we're in sport mode. I mean, you want to talk about power, guys? Watch this. I mean, it is just ridiculous how much performance this thing has. I cannot believe that it is a SUV. I really can't. Like, you would have to get a Ferrari F8 to keep up with this thing. I mean, you truly would have to get an exotic supercar to keep up with this thing till about 70 miles an hour, and then from there you'd be okay. But just more performance than you really ever need or want. But hey, it's fun to have. Yeah, so Aaron was just telling me at night the Rivian lights up really well. Where are some of the areas the light comes on?
Right around here, this panel where the leather meets the wood.
Can you change the color on, or is it just that kind of lighter white color that they give you?
I think it's just a lighter white color.
Yeah, that's one thing about the Mercedes that, you know, would be nice. You know, the Mercedes and even the Audi lets you change to all these cool interior colors. You know, they have an insane amount of combination of colors and patterns you can do. It's one thing Rivian could definitely add, but it's nice to give you some, you know, decent mood lighting back. Here's another fun gimmick, guys. So Aaron was just telling me he has it in kneel mode. So Aaron, what does kneel mode mean? So we just parked the car to get out. What does that mean?
It lowers the suspension below even the lowest drive setting to make it easier to get in and out of the car.
That's pretty funny. And it just stays like that until you get back in the car?
Yep.
Wow. Kneel mode. That's one that Tesla doesn't have. Well, guys, if you made it this far into the video, really appreciate you watching. Hope you enjoyed our content. If you do, like and subscribe because it helps the algo. Please comment too. I'm curious what you all think about this vehicle. Now, I gotta sum this thing up. I really like it. I like the way it looks. I think it's handsome. The only negative is the price. Am I gonna spend $98,000 on this, or am I gonna spend a little bit more money, maybe 10 grand more, and am I gonna get a Tesla Plaid? In my book, I'm probably gonna get this because everybody has the Tesla now. It's not cool anymore, right? And so this right here is different. I think it'd be fun to own for a couple of years, have something that's just a little exclusive. I think the interior quality of this thing is really exceptional. I just think it looks great, feels high quality and modern and neat. And the driving experience, I mean, you watch the POV drive, it doesn't drive like a sports car. It's got all the power and performance in the world, don't get me wrong, but in the end of the day, it drives a little bit boaty. You know, it's not quite as good as the Tesla Model X. So if you're looking for outright performance and sports car feeling, you definitely want to stick with the Model X. If you like the idea of the gull wing doors, right, that is still kind of cool. But in so many ways, this is just a superior vehicle. I like the fit and finish, I like the build quality. I like the fact that they have a lot of the upgraded things that just Tesla doesn't quite have. Now, you don't get full self-driving and you don't get the Tesla charging network, at least right now. So, you know, pros and cons. But hopefully my review has kind of helped you understand a little bit about it. You learned some little nuggets of consciousness about this vehicle versus some of the other reviews you might have seen. And if we did a good job, give us a like. And that's it for us today. We appreciate you watching, and we will catch you soon on the next one.